here. See here. So guys, what I'm doing right now is I added a sheet of adhesive to the backside of the acrylic. Now I'm putting a sheet of masking over the top side because the mask that comes on this specific acrylic, I don't have enough airflow with my machine and the 1.5 inch lens to basically dissipate the mask that comes with it, all the gases and stuff, so it will flare up on me. So basically, I have to remask everything, which sucks a lot. It would be nice to be able to just throw it in there, but a roll of this white mask is like maybe $24 for 100 feet, and if I really wanted to spend the extra, it would be like $34 for 300 feet. I just, when I first bought this roll, didn't know if it would work, if it would help. I switched over from the 1.5 inch lens to the, or from the 2 inch lens to the 1.5 because I wanted to get that smaller curve, and it definitely helps. You get a smoother cut and less gaps between the material, but it sucks having to take the time to mask it. Before, I'd be able to just put the adhesive on the back and then I'd be good, but now it's just double the steps. Eventually, I'm going to order a new air compressor unit. A friend of mine did as well, and he said it helped tremendously. He was able to cut 1/2 inch acrylic on a 45 watt laser, the one that we have. So that's the next step, but it's just a matter of doing it and getting it ordered.
So I always throw the magnets on it so that it will get a good clean cut. I was having issues before where the material was shifting a tiny bit and it was throwing off the location, so it wouldn't cut exactly what was supposed to be happening. But now I don't have that issue as often. Don't get me wrong, nothing's ever perfect, but for the most part it is.
My opinion, always keep the scraps. This is a sheet or a piece of a sheet that I cut a while ago. Already masked the top. Now I just need to throw the adhesive on the bottom and then it's ready to go. It didn't cost me anything, but you still charge the customer for the full sheet and it makes it 10 times better. So I use the 3M 467 adhesive. I found that it's thick enough and strong enough compared to the 3M 468 because it was just extremely thick and hard to cut through with my machine. But in my opinion, it's better for wood. The 468 is better for wood because it's a 5mm adhesive, where this is only a 2.3 or something like that. And doing wood, you want to be able to get in the cracks and make sure that it's getting in all the grains of the wood itself. It's always good to have a nice sharp blade because it really zips through there. I find when I have those crappy dull blades, it kind of gets stuck and will rip and
This company must have recently switched to the bed mask, because every once in a while you'd get a good sheet of masking that's already on your acrylic and you don't have to mask anything. It's mainly with the black. I'm hoping eventually that means all of the sheets are going to be with the nicer, more butcher material. This has like the static cling stuff and it sucks. But these scraps I don't keep. I pitch this stuff, I'll break it up, throw it in a container I have under my desk, and then kind of go from there. It's not, those I won't really get much use for. Well, that's a solid cut. Keeps it in there, but if I set it down hard enough, it's all going to fall out. I always put the mask on over here because I put a piece of tape down which I need to rip up and get a new piece. But it will actually adhere. It won't adhere here, so I can peel it up real easy at the top. If not, you got to roll this stuff off and kind of a pain. As I'm wheeling this out, yeah, I didn't think I was going to come back either, but like I said earlier, I got 6 orders while I was at deer camp on Etsy, which I was extremely shocked for, and I have to get going on them because if I get another 6 tomorrow, which I hope I do, I'll be so friggin' far behind. It's a blessing and a curse. Nice being able to go on vacation and enjoy myself, but then you come back and this is kind of peak season for people buying gifts. We need to get stuff out. The issue is before I had the design and I thought I had it perfect, blah blah blah, and I kept noticing small little screw-ups, nothing that if anyone buys it would notice, but something where every time I put it together it pisses me off. So I had to fix it, and by fixing it, that basically was me recreating the whole design, or re-downloading the whole design and doing it fresh. Oh. Wow. Yellow, let's do red. This in here. The worst part is I don't have a good I'm not screen sharing yet, just because switching between tabs and all that, it would be nice to be able to show people what I'm doing, so it would make sense when I kneel down and I'm messing with my computer. But we don't do a ton of live streaming on this channel, so it's not that terrible. But right now I'm just repositioning the next cut. Gonna set the power 30, 80, 80, one pass, and it is ready to cut.
The main reason I came back is because I have to get this done and sent out tomorrow regardless, or else it's going to be considered late. So might as well put it up on the internet, see if I can get people to chat with. Shelby went to bed on me because she's not feeling too well. God, this mask sucks. Eric, have you gone out hunting yet? Definitely don't need to save the small piece like that, but it's nice to be able to at least keep this bigger of the two. The worst part about this is remasking this stuff. I was talking to my old man the other day, or today. Obviously he's getting up there and he wants to retire soon, sooner than later. And I told him the perfect job would be to buy a laser engraver. I teach him the start button and the stop button, and then sell wholesale pre-cut acrylic sheets. Don't get me wrong, there's probably a market that's massive for it. And by massive I say there's probably a market of people already doing it, but the stuff that they're doing is not reasonably priced. I mean, a sheet like this size, which is 12 by 18, 12 by 19-ish, from certain websites, you'll spend $15 on this one sheet. That's outrageous. You can't make anything with acrylic spending that much. The minute you spend that much on acrylic, anything you make has to be $150, $200, which no one wants to pay that, especially for a small sign on these small machines. But if you could get the acrylic imported at a reasonable price, a big enough machine, all you gotta do is just slide that sheet in, hit go, it'll cut out the 12 by 18, whatever you want it to be able to sell, and you just ship it out. You would make, and if you sold it for $9, which is $2 more, or $8, which is $1 more than the company I get my stuff from, right there it's going to cover, I mean, you got to make a boatload. I've spent almost $1,000 in acrylic this year, which, if I've done it, there's got to be probably a ton of other people that have machines doing it as well. I mean, obviously you have the ability to go out and do exactly what I'm talking about on your own, but I don't feel like everyone has the ambition to reach out to a manufacturer in China to then sell the material. Because then what we would do is we would continue to make on top of it, so we'd be making stuff and selling stuff, and you're double dipping. So then you get your material cheap, which increases your profits, and then you're selling stuff which people already are buying. It's just all around it's a win. What's going on, guys, if you're just popping in? pretty tough to talk and do this. Or, let me rephrase that, talk and look at the screen. But, basically what I'm doing is I'm making a acrylic sign, I'm masking it off, I have to put adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to put it together basically like a big puzzle. We have the full spectrum Muse 3D. Had it for about a year now, or just over. Actually, no. We've only had it for, I think we got it in December last year. But that's a little different than the original videos, because this is our second machine. Our first one was a Flux Beambox Pro. Had issues, one, between not knowing what the hell we were doing. Two, I was trying, I don't know, knowing what I know now, could I have kept the machine and been fine? Absolutely. I've learned a lot. But there's a big learning curve, and unless you sit down to do the education, the learning of it, you're never going to actually learn the machine. The Flux didn't have a good community. There was not really a Facebook group. People weren't chatting in it often. And it made it very difficult to figure out settings. The adhesive I use is that roll right here. It is 3M 468 or 467, and that's for the. It's a good stick. You don't have the issues of it peeling off. I mean, I've accidentally stuck something in the wrong spot and you ruin the whole thing. Because you'll try to pry it up. One, you'll scratch the acrylic, which is extremely sensitive. It's not meant to be touched and moved around and blah blah blah. Two, I've had my hand slip and I've sliced my finger open with a sharp edge, and boy, let me tell you, it sliced the shit out of me. Probably deep enough where I could have got stitches. I wasn't going to go get stitches because I mean, at the end of the day, all I gotta do is glue it shut and I'll be fine. And it's not like it's on my face or anything where it's gonna look terrible. But basically what you do is you're quite literally making a puzzle out of this once you're making it. You take the background layer, lay it down. After you lay that down, then you'll put the outside edge and then you'll start piecing it in like one big puzzle. To me, I'm not gonna lie, it's very enjoying putting it together, because you go from having these pieces to then now all of a sudden you have a finished product and it looks badass. I like the acrylic, I like woodwork in certain senses, and I need to get a camera right here that I can look at while I'm working from this side. Maybe I'll order that tonight. But yeah. Acrylic comes out good. Wood is way more work, but also comes out good if you know what you're doing and can put the time into it. I guess essentially I could move this camera over
and mount it on top of my computer. I just don't think the angle is wide enough to be so close to it. But it sucks really bad when you screw up your adhesive. If you're applying it and then somehow it gets crooked and then you miss this whole corner, you can't re-adhere that. Once it's on there, it's basically on there. I always trim the edges even though I don't need to. I know I don't need to, but it gives me, when the camera takes a picture, I know definitely that the corner is the corner. It doesn't have any fluff on it. Before, when I was using a 2-inch lens, I was not having a double-sided mask, so all this stuff would be done in about 5 minutes, or all the sheets would be done. So then all I had to do was swap one, put the next in, and then I could keep going. My favorite thing is when this all stays together and you can just lay it down, comes out good. But when I put it together, I will swap to this side, to this camera. I'll turn it down so you guys can see me putting it together. And then I'm going to be able to go from there. Then I'll probably be done live streaming for the second time today. Only because me and Shelby got some work to talk about. With the background, you don't have to mask it. The reason you don't have to mask it is because it doesn't matter if that melts or gets any raised bumps on it or anything like that, because it's background. All your acrylic on top is going to cover that, and you'll never be able to see it. Obviously, unless I know what brings people into chat and watch, and it's clearly not me, because I've live streamed twice now, and I think I've had one person in, and then now you, Mr. Badass, but that's because at this point we're friends. To bring in new people, they want a female here, or they want Shelby here, because I'm just not that entertaining. And let's bring this down to the bottom. We'll do the background. Now I'll run that.
next time what I need to do, I just need to have this all masked off as I go, or prior to, so I can sit down and just have the conversation, and when new people pop in, try to engage with them before they leave. Mr. Badass or Eric, the problem is I'm good at describing it, but when it comes to giving directions, I am god awful. I'll tell Shelby, okay, go ahead, put that piece of acrylic in the top left, and for me, it's uniform. I mean, I've done it so many times that it feels like it's just routine, but really, when I tell her top left, I know I walk up there and I put it in the top right every single time. So then she'll do exactly what I say. She'll put it in the top left, and then we'll run the cut, and then I'll say, WTF, what happened? I'll walk over and I'll look at the machine. She put it exactly where I told her, but because I visualize it, I can't necessarily put it to words. On here it's easy to talk when you'll get new people in and they'll ask questions. Well, what do you have? What kind of machine? Why do you have it? Stuff like that. That's easy because I have an opinion on it. I know exactly why I have the machine I have. One of two reasons. One of them being because the first machine I had sucked and I had to send it back, and then I was either going to lose $1,500 in a restocking fee, or I would have been able to get another machine from them for the same price, or I'd have to pay the difference if there was a difference in price and blah blah blah. Well, in hindsight, I wish I would have just lost that $1,500, because at the time we had extra money laying around per se, that we would have been able to buy that bigger machine we wanted, and we would be able to do more, have a bigger machine, and I don't know. Overall, it was just a better option if I would have lost that money and not and just taken that restocking fee. I really shot myself in the foot by not going with that bigger machine, because now I'm looking back and I know what I'm doing. I'm particular. I do a good job of it, and I really could use that bigger bed. It would make life easier, and I don't know. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. You can never look back, and you can't change what's already been done. I can just look and say, try to help people in the future make up their mind on what machine to get. I mean, I've told multiple people in Facebook groups and stuff like that, hey guys, I'm looking to get a machine, what are your recommendations? First thing I always say is go with that bigger machine, because it's the easiest. With the small bed, you're limited. With the big bed, you're limited in certain aspects of, okay, it might be too powerful to do leather, or it might be X, Y, and Z, and I'd rather have those limitations than if someone says they want a 20 by 20 sign, and I say, well, unfortunately I can't do that, and they say, oh, I'll go to someone else and see if I can get it done. one clean cut.
Let's do that. Unlock that. Move it. Do it. Oh. Right now I'm setting up the navy, which is what I'm loading next. I always take a new picture every time because obviously you have to see the magnets and where you put them. And it's just easier that way. Okay, so now I'm going to run the navy. Gotta make sure my settings are good, which they are off. So I'm going to change it to 30. It's 30 speed, which that's 30 in, I think it's millimeters. It's going to calculate, so it's 30% of however many millimeters that it can run at per second. And then 80 power, and then 80 current. Current's basically how hot it gets. The hotter it gets, obviously, the more melting or burning you have. Well, you don't really want a melt, you don't want to burn, you want it to be able to shoot straight through. So you got to have a balance of how hot it gets versus how much power versus how fast you do. That's where a good community comes in. Is the better the community, the more people you'll get that have the settings already figured out. I mean, they've done it for a couple years now and they know exactly what they're doing. Myself, I will grab some of those scraps, I'll run it and run it and run it. Okay, now I got 10 power, now I got 20 power, and I'll just keep going on and on until I get it nailed down to where it has to be. After this, I have one more cut. Then I'm going to start putting it together. That will make it, let's see, I started, how long have we been going? I don't know, I think I've been going for about 40-ish minutes. Who knows? I've been going for some time. Oh, 56 minutes. So, by the time I get this last one done, now I just have to put it together. And once you start putting it together, you're basically, after that, you're done. So, it's probably not, how do I say it without sounding like, why would you do that if you're not making enough money? But it's probably, I could probably charge more than what I'm charging, and then it would really, really be worth it. But profit margin's probably about 60, 40 to 50% markup on every single thing. So on a $65 sign, which on Etsy it's $85 because of fees and stuff, you're looking at 40 bucks a sign, 3 colors. So this one was, I needed white, I needed yellow, navy, sky blue, and powdered blue. So that was 5 colors. That's $7 a sheet. So you're looking at it's $35 right there in cost. But then that's for the first one. Now I'm going to do the next one, which then I'll only need navy, white, and sky blue. So now that's $21 because then I'll have leftover yellow. I'll have leftover sky blue, and I'll have leftover red. That's the other one I missed. So this is a $42 sign for the first one you do, but every one after that it's super cheap. Because that first customer paid for the acrylic for all of them. Now I could probably get 5 or 6 yellows on one sheet of acrylic. So that's 5 or 6 signs. So that means that cost is going to shoot down. But who knows? I say it's good profit margin. I'm making money. It's covering the cost of stuff, and I'm happy doing it. And at the end of the day, if I could do this full time, I'd be extremely happy. It brings out a little bit of creativity. You're able to work from home, do stuff you enjoy. I don't know. It's fun. Oh, come on, stop. The dog here all over. I will say though, I'm having a hell of a time trying to find navy acrylic. You can't find that stuff anywhere. Or a good navy. It just, everyone has like see-through, they have blah. So I'm trying to get at the right cost. I mean, I'm looking at a sheet right now, 12 by 19, $16. The cost of that sign now skyrockets. Now, if the wholesaler I buy from were to raise their prices, obviously, like everything, prices go up, but that would make signs in this size range honestly unattainable. I think because people still, not everyone's bought a Glowforge yet, not everyone will buy a Glowforge, but as long as they're within striking distance and they're within purchasing, people are going to continue to buy it. The core version of the machine I have, it's basically the same exact machine except for the camera. I have the camera on mine, which is nice by all means, but not a necessity. You could jump in and do something different for next to nothing. It would be super easy. But the core version, see if I can get it pull up real quick, is $29.99. So it's it's $3,000 bucks. You do need some extra parts. So if you want to throw in the cool box and not buy certain things, you're looking at $3,700. I mean, that's a steal. I could have easily bought that, saved $4,000, because really the only difference is you're getting the camera. Or if I would have bought the Thunder that I wanted, I spent $7,500 for the machine I have. I could have spent $7,400 and get a much higher wattage machine, a bigger bed size, and just all around better unit. It's more industrial, it's meant to be beat up on. Or if I would have spent a little bit more than that, I mean, $2,000, $2,400, I could have got the Nova 35, and that's a 35-inch machine. It just, obviously you can always say or this or that. I really wish I would have went with the bigger machine and nailed it that way. Eric, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, and we will chat about deer camp tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting stream. For anyone else that's just popping in, what's going on? Shoot a comment, and I can I'll read it off. Kind of, if you have any questions about the machine I'm using, anything like that, let me know. Right now I'm cutting a Manchester City sign. It's a Etsy order that we got while I was on vacation. Once it gets done, I have one more sheet to cut. Then I'm going to go over to this table. I'm going to adjust the camera and show you guys me putting it together. Eventually I'm going to have more cameras and blah 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 to make this easier for me, so I don't have to adjust anything. Better audio. Problem is you got that big machine running. It's kind of loud. So who knows? I know that if I went with the bigger machine, it's going to be twice as loud, so I don't know if I'll be able to do live streams. But I'm going to get back to doing videos. It's just a matter of doing them. It is tough because we do the edits for Charlie the Plumber on YouTube. We'll do his video editing. That's my father. And editing is just a lot of work. This cut that we're doing right now, it has 8 minutes left. It's probably, I think it started at 17. When you get into the bigger machines, the more industrial sized machines, this cut's probably only a 6-minute cut, which means the faster you're running, the faster you're making money, essentially. Time is money, and it's just, you need that quicker machine to be able to really pump out stuff. Especially when it comes to engraving. Engraving, if you're not getting the fast machine engraving pretty quick, you're going to run into, okay, now you're waiting an hour and a half just to do a small little cutting. At the end of the day, you got to be able to pump the stuff out and get good quality. This is a great starter machine, very, very expensive for the starter machine, but it was good to learn on. The software is easy, the designing's easy. I've been designing for a number of years now, so that's easy in itself. But yeah, it's just a matter of learning the stuff, and then I really think anyone can do this. I've been running Etsy ads lately. I'm trying to test out a theory to see if I can put a maximum of $20 a day for advertisements to see if I will make my money. I ran it for, let's see, what's the date? 20th. I started on the 18th was the first day, and I mean that day. That day was the first day, and it only spent $2.04. So it's not spending a ton of money, but off that $2.04, I got 768 ad views and made $75. Then the 19th, we spent $4.13 and we didn't make a single dollar. I think if I was spending $5 a day, I would be happy making the... I could spend $5 a day and every other day sell a sign, or every third day on an off week sell a sign, and it would be worth my while. Now the problem is I don't know, and I mean on $4.13 it's not a ton, but I got 1,000 views, 10 clicks, and 0 orders. I don't know, I feel like that's kind of a lot. I feel like they should be purchasing it that way. Or I think there's got to be a better turnover rate. Today I've spent $3.77 and we've got 1,000 views. I'm hoping at the end of the day views turn into purchases, but I don't know. I don't know if Etsy is necessarily the place to make big money per se. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I think you can make money off Etsy. You just have to be very good with SEO and search analytics and stuff like that. And I'm not that great at that portion. You can see when that laser head gets so close to the phone, it really throws it out of whack. I didn't think that it would have that much of an autofocus issue. I had to go through and kind of reprioritize this logo to make sure that it was only cutting stuff that I needed. Obviously, having a slower machine, every little bit is worth money. So before, I used to have it cut everything on this navy color, and then I would have it jump into or then I'd use that as a stencil per se, but now it's only cutting the stuff I need because I can layer it and do it properly, and then put the next color in, which would be yellow or white, and then hop in and know, okay, this is the color I need, this is how it'll go, this is exactly where it'll go. It really is a cool sign. I'm not a soccer fan, but watching it cut, maybe it's because I'm biased and I made it, but it's definitely a cool sign. These long cuts, is pretty tough to get everything to stay in one. And once it's going, you kind of just let it fall out and then you'll grab it piece by piece. So now the last cut is going to be white. White is a very sacred, very important color to have, obviously, because white goes in almost every design out there. You have to have white for almost everything. Make sure my settings are good. I could probably move those magnets in a little bit. Take one more photo just to make sure. You never want to be too sure because, or you never want to be wrong, because everything is lost at that point. This is where a bigger bed would work out, so then I could put everything on one bed. Basically magnet it down, take the picture of it, and then I could run it all at once, which that would cut down time and exponentially. And if I haven't said it yet today, time is money. And if you're not making money and you don't have time, or something like that, if you look at the center of that white, see how there's that that little circle that came from the head of the laser? When you do navy, it is just so, I wouldn't say greasy is the word, but it's just a dirty cut. The dye and whatever else gets all over the laser head, and it's kind of a mess. At the end of the day, I think I should try switching back to my 2-inch laser head, but I don't know. Right now I'm liking the way it's cutting the with the 1.5 inch, but then you're like, it would be nice, it'd be cool to be able to set it up, and I don't know. I never know. I will say, no one in here talking can be pretty boring. I guess I should like my own video. I don't know if it'll actually count, but so right now I'm running this cut. This one is probably, it says 9 minutes. That's probably pretty close. It's within a minute or two, maybe 3, but let's do this. I'm looking for another webcam, but I should probably wait till next week so I can get that camera going over here by me. Soon I'll have so many dang cameras I don't know what to do with. One looking at my tabletop, one looking at me, one looking at the laser. I just think that to show the process, it's better to have more cameras seeing all angles than just one of me and then you guys can't see anything. Realistically, the camera I need doesn't need to be anything fancy. I could probably save some time with this cut, and instead of, oh no, I need to cut out all the letters because that white goes around the actual logo. Or around the navy color. Oh, I'm probably going to show putting it together, and not much after that. Probably end up logging off after that. It'll take probably 20 minutes to put it together. I also changed the design, so at the bottom, right under that boat, it used to be 3 little cuts, and it was tiny and sucked, and it was terrible to put together. I'm hoping the new design, or I can't say new design, but the new way it's laid out is going to work a little bit better, because then it will be one solid piece versus the 3 little tiny ones that barely cut before. Guys, if you have any questions, I know some of you are just popping in, let me know. It's easier to answer questions rather than do the opposite and just talk to myself, because I don't even want to hear myself talk, let alone you guys. Like I said, this cut's got probably, let's look. It says 5 minutes, I'd give it about 3. Normally pretty close to accurate, but it's never dead on. This is actually a Manchester City logo. I will say it's my most popular logo or thing that I've sold, just because it seems like everyone likes it. I'm not a big soccer guy, but people definitely bounce in and take a look at it or purchase it. If anyone that popped in knows where to get navy acrylic, throw that in the comments, because I am trying to find a good actual navy color. I have 4 or 5 orders that need navy, and I don't have navy, and my source is completely out, which I use CMS acrylics. They're out for 3 to 5 weeks, which I'm sure it's going to hurt his business a ton, because let's be real, this is everyone's busy season. But if you know, throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear where you guys get your navy, if they're good, if the masking is good. I've noticed that CMS has good material, but I hate the mask on it. So I have to peel it, remask it, because I went to the 1.5-inch lens and I don't have a strong enough, air pump, to be able to disperse those gases without it flaring up. Hey, stop that. Dogs. It's also so weird, the path that the laser takes. I don't know why they program it to be like that. I mean, I don't know, it just feels like it would be easier to program it. Like, there's got to be a setting to change the best traveled path. Oh, geez. Well, there's really not. Project full screen. I will say the cool thing about the camera is you can view it on your phone if you want to see the camera as it's moving. Don't say that. You don't have sound. Turn your volume up. That means I've been streaming for an hour, 2 hours, and there's been no sound. That'd be really embarrassing as the chief editor. Oh, to not have sound on my own live stream and have people watching. It should have sound now, or I just wasn't talking at that time. You should hear the background noise of the laser. This is one of my many logos I need to get done. If I turn my computer on and it has sound. It has sound. I can hear myself. It's got to be on your, or it's just very quiet. The microphone's right here. So I wonder if I turn it down, it will get a little bit louder. Alright. Now, let's do main screen. Is that I was in here talking to Mr. Badass, and he could hear me. I wonder if I turn that phone off, move it over here, put it together on this side. Guess I should probably pause that camera. Turn it in this. I don't really have a good setup for it. I'll have to hold off. And I'll just have to do it on this big one. See if I can turn that camera down a little bit. So now, it's time to put it together. Should be able to turn that machine off, get better audio. So now, I'm going to peel this bad boy off. This is the background layer.
peel the masking off it so I can get a good start with it. Normally, I like the matte more, the color. If I could get everything in matte, I'd probably buy all matte because it just peels up more. You don't have the issues of getting the scratches that are extremely noticeable on regular gloss acrylic. So what I'm going to do is I take some tape and I tape down the most outside layer first, which is here. Oh, no, it's not. It is this one. I will take this layer, pop it out, and I will tape it down with some tape. Any old tape, Christmas tree tape or Christmas wrapping tape is normally what I use. I know the start point because sometimes the machine doesn't make a perfect circle and you can see the little notch. If it's a perfect circle, you don't have to worry about that. But just for the sake of this, I'm going to put them together basically right where it goes. Take a little piece here and wrap it down under. Take the next little piece, wrap it down under over here. I'll do this on a couple sides just to make sure it's on there good and tight. So that there will be no shifting of the acrylic when I start layering on the inside. Because once it starts shifting, it's going to throw everything off. And then you just have a piece of garbage acrylic. So then I'll put the next piece in so I know the barriers of what goes where. Hey, dog. Ruger, stop. Do you want the dog bone? There. So now I'm working from the outside in. Next one I need is white. That's actually over on this table. This piece just smoothing off an edge a little bit. Looks like the laser, I wouldn't say jumped, but it definitely moved a little. So this will go in just like that, and that's my starting point. Now I can start taking the letters, and I'm going to just start laying them down. I'll peel the adhesive off the back. I like to get a good pile of that off to the side.
and this is my base layer. Once I put these pieces in, it's not coming up. So if I get quiet, that just means I'm focusing, because I really, really don't want to screw up. You can drop them down in to test, like that T definitely only fits there because it's tight up top, which kind of sucks about this new layout, the new redesign of it. I'll keep putting this. It would have been nice to be able to start putting this together, which if I was if Shelby was down here, I would be strategically putting this together. I would be cutting it, she would be putting it together, and then each piece that I cut, I give her the next set, she'll put it in. We'll and then it is a much faster process. Only reason this takes longer is because it's just me doing it, which I guess that will be the case for some of you guys. See, I swapped those E's, but the E's on the top are identical. I'm going to put that one in next. Drop that bad boy in. Do the R. And then keep doing my letters. It does take long doing this stuff. But I'll be honest, I really don't mind it at all for some reason. It is a little tedious, but I don't know, I just really like the outcome of it. My people I've done signs for, my dad, some of these others, they really like the acrylic more. I tend to go both ways. I do like the acrylic a lot, but I also really like doing, or I wouldn't say really, I do like doing wood. The issue is with wood is the minute you get a piece of wood, it has to be 110% perfectly straight. And when you're working with 1/8 inch wood and material, odds of that happening are almost not a thing. It's always warped because it's so damn thin. But then when you're working with that big thick material, you don't run into that often. Come on. That one snagged a little bit in the corner, didn't cut perfect. So now that is done. I don't need that as a stencil anymore. And then now what I'll do I really not have audio? I'm going to be pissed if I look back at this and I don't have audio. Because I could have went a lot faster. Okay, so now I think I want to do this blue. If I get this blue in there, then I can stick the white down on the outside. Part of the problem is you sometimes cut multiple colors for one just because you need a good stencil behind it. So I got to make sure as I go I'm putting down the right stuff. as I'm going. There is a little bit of a kerf to it, where you don't get the perfectly everything touches right on the money. But with that, I mean, there's not really much you can do about that. I heard on the Thunder there is an adjustment for kerf, so it will cut just a little bit thicker or just a little bit outside of the logo and kind of go from there. I don't know if it is actually a thing, but who knows. Does that audio need to be turned up? If anyone's here, can you let me know? I was told it wasn't working a little bit ago, so now I'm all self-conscious about it. Thumbs up or something. What's going on, Bill? Bill, can you hear me? Or hear me all right? Kind of quiet. Okay, let's go up. How's that sound? That should be a little bit better. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't think that the mic that I have in this basement is really what I need. I think I need a different microphone to be able to really be able to do the stream. This mic's more for like a talking directly into the mic, and this is the podcast mic that we use at the Old Man's. So I think I need to order a condenser mic and a second I wouldn't say a second camera, but a backup cam type thing. Bill, how was your hunt? Sounds like you're on speakerphone. Yeah, that's something I gotta fix. This is still new now that the season's going. I want to be able to do live streams, so I got to get some new gear, because this is a different setup. I would mount it directly on the ceiling of wherever we're standing at, or wherever the most common place is. So I still got some kinks to work out. Been good, seen some deer. Weather is perfect. I'm glad you got perfect weather. We the first couple days we didn't, but then once we got up there, it started getting better for us. So now what I'm gonna do is I got mainly the base down. I'm going to grab these numbers and start sticking these bad boys down. Yeah, Bill, we didn't see a damn thing when we went up. It was, let me tell you, extremely boring. I mean, let's be real. Extremely boring for going to deer camp. Yeah, this is, there are a ton of steps. It could be faster. When me and Shelby are down here, with cut time takes the longest, but if she's down here assembling as we go, or I'm assembling as I go and I'm not live streaming obviously takes some time because I'm trying to chat and do stuff and walk through the process. But when I'm doing it just myself and I'm just going back to back to back, I can normally knock out this, I would say, fairly quick. Probably I mean, I've been live streaming for, it's going to be 2 hours by the time I'm done. This one sign would be done in an hour, I would say. And an hour with the profit margin we're getting, it's actually pretty good. Nothing's ever extremely perfect. So there's some things, like I would get a better machine if I could. That would be faster. I would with a bigger machine, I would be able to put all of the sheets on one and I'd cut it in one go. Well, right there is bulk of the time. And then from there, you'd be, I mean, all you gotta do is put it together. So now your 1 hour sign takes you 25 to 30 minutes. I'd say 30. 30 is probably accurate. But the bulk of the time is the machine cutting and then sitting here and putting it together. Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to start somewhere. I just wish. That's why YouTube's a thing, because everyone wants guidance. They want someone to say, this is what I would do in this situation. And if I would have had a good YouTuber to follow and be like, hey, and I could comment and actually get some information from them, then you're not going to have the issues of buying the wrong shit, and then you're fighting with customer support because they're screwing you over or messing around with you. It's a lot of work to learn about this stuff with absolutely no knowledge to start. And that's the thing, is you need to teach yourself. Hey, shush dogs. You need to teach yourself, but the problem is there's no good information out there. My old man would probably say something like, people ain't worth a shit these days. I will say, it is chilly in this basement, though. Need to give me some good slippers. Way far off. So now I'm gonna keep dabbing these bad boys out. Hey, what's going on, Crazy Hillbilly? How are ya? I'm just putting together some acrylic. Oh. All you have... Yeah, that's true. I mean... Like I said, there's not much you can do to control it. You can just try to teach yourself the best you can. And hope you're learning the right material, not the wrong stuff. Bill, have a good night. We will, I'm sure, see you tomorrow on the live stream. And we'll chat there. Crazy Hillbilly, how you doing tonight? feel as though I should switch back to my other lens, because there's just as much kerf as this, or as the regular stuff. Let me put this center in first. There's a number of things that didn't make me too happy with this cut. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm out of whack because I wasn't here for a week or something. Oh, dang it, I forgot to cut the red. Wait, no I didn't. I did the red. Yellow. Okay, now let's do. I need these. Well, see, that would have sucked. Would have put the wrong color on, and then this whole design would be garbage. Oh. Watch out for that dog hair. Uncontrollable, but it does pop around sometimes. Now you gotta get these in. These are kind of difficult because you need more than one at a time. How to cut this? This was there. These don't have to go exactly back and perfect, but it's nice because then you know they fit there. Yeah, I really think I'm gonna have to switch back to my 2-inch lens. I like the 1.5, but I noticed too much small stuff. Maybe it's because I'm getting better at this. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's actually there. Who knows? But I feel like I should be able to blast through more acrylic faster on the other, I don't know. It's something I'll have to mess with. This isn't really the time of the year to mess with it, but I don't want to sell garbage product. I'm not going to send out stuff that I wouldn't buy personally. So that's where it's like, it's 1 to every dozen. You get some good ones, you get some bad ones, but I just feel as though it's maybe time to retire this lens and go back to what everyone uses, which is 2-inch. I got stubborn thinking, oh, the 1.5 is going to be great. It was great for a little bit. And then I don't know if I screwed something up or what, but like the way this centerpiece cut, either I used way too much heat and it strictly shrunk, or it's off by that much. But I will get that fixed. Nothing's ever 100% perfect, but you try to make it the best you can, because like I said, you don't want to sell that garbage. I want people to buy my stuff because it's good, not because it just because it looks good from a photo. These ones all went in good, which makes me happy. Little pieces at the top are tough because I got fat fingers. I can't really get a good grip. But once they go in, they are pretty easy to do. If you have any questions, I know you popped in. Most people don't like to chat, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I do my best to answer any questions that pop up that I can actually answer, because I know when I first started, it was extremely difficult to learn all this stuff by yourself without having like I don't want to say role model, but someone that has been doing it for a little bit of time. I'm not a veteran. I've been doing it for a year come December, but I would say that gives me a little more knowledge than someone that's never done it. Like I've said earlier, this is our most popular logo that we've sold, or whatever you want to call it, most popular design that people have looked into. It's definitely a costly one to sell, because how many colors it is and stuff like that. But it generally comes out good. Let me grab some more pieces. These little pieces are the ones that stink putting in there. Your fingers are, or my fingers are fat and they don't really work that well. This is actually for an Etsy order for someone while I was at deer camp or up north hunting. Our Etsy, I don't want to say blew up, but we went from having like 4 orders to now, or 4 orders total in a couple months, to now we have 13. We sold 7 things, 8 things, whatever it was, while I was gone. So now it's rush mode to come back and get them done. Which sucks because I'm having supplier issues getting the acrylic that I need. I'm hoping, he said it was going to take long. I'm hoping it's not as long as he was, my supplier, which is CMS Acrylics. He told me 3 to 5 weeks, and I have like 7 days left to be able to ship these orders. So I'm trying to find some good navy acrylic from somewhere, I just don't know where. I really wonder if people notice the difference in the kerf when they switch to a smaller lens, because now I'm second guessing myself. I feel as though I need to go back to the 2-inch lens, because in theory, now I'm just talking this through myself, in theory I should be able to cut deeper at a faster speed with the 2-inch, because that's made to go through deeper material per se. But I struggled with the 2-inch lens for a while. Wasn't happy with the results. Blah blah blah. So said, I'm going to try the 1.5. The 1.5 was really good for a while. And then now I'm struggling with that, so I think it's time to switch again. Maybe it's just my routine. Just need to go back and forth between the two until I'm happy again. Until I'm unhappy. Until I'm happy. Oh, frick. Now I have 1, 2, 3 little pieces that are white that I have to see if they, oh, there's some. They're right here. Which that means I'm almost done. think Bill was right. I gotta look into another option. This is very long, very time consuming. There's always a better way. Now I'll take the outside piece off. I don't think it's as bad when I'm not stressed about how many orders we have and having to get them out. I could do different products, probably save some time, save some money, but I don't know. I like the way acrylic comes out. It looks good. Now I'll get this. Should be the last piece I gotta put on. Get this out of the ring. Okay. Now it's for the peeling. This part kind of sucks too, but it is very satisfying getting one solid peel and getting the whole thing without it ripping. I'm actually going to stop there because I have something I have to fix that didn't come out. So, guys, this is what it is going to end up looking like. I'm going to start to peel this bad boy up. I want to do it quick. Got to fix something, start the laser back up. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like and leave me comments. Let me know if you got any questions, if there's anything I need to do better, or if you have any suggestions. So, talk to you later, guys.